I've never thought about giving up, not once. I'm not trying to be a superhero, but I've dreamed about this for so long, and the investment, both in energy and in money, is so high that the idea of quitting never crossed my mind, ever.
On one side, there's Pier Paolo Vivaldi, who last year came to see how this race was done. He watched the others, then said, "Got it. Now I'm going for it."
At first I said I'd never come back, but like my friend Guerini, here I am again. Hi, I'm Pier Paolo Vivaldi, 43 years old, with a fantastic woman and a beautiful child, and this year I decided to race in the africaecorace. The Africa Eco Race starts in Monte Carlo and ends in Dakar. I decided to do it on a motorcycle. It's about 6,000 kilometers, crossing Morocco, Mauritania, and Senegal. This morning we had technical checks, licenses, insurance, and all that. Last night, I couldn't sleep. The race officially starts in Monte Carlo. It really feels like going from luxury to the toughest conditions. You really get into race mode once you arrive in Nador, after the ferry trip. On the ferry, everyone prepares in their own way. Some sleep, some chat to relieve stress, and some have a drink. I slept like 99% of the riders, reading and resting, because we know sleep deprivation is a constant during the race. Today was a crazy long stage, like 600 kilometers. We started from Nador, delayed the start a bit, and arrived in Budnib, which is a hard name to pronounce. We're at 1,000 meters here, and it's freezing. There's a bit of chaos in the paddock. We're trying to get things sorted because it's still a bit unclear. A biker's biggest fear is getting hurt. Some are more scared, some less, and some don't think about it at all. I'm in the middle. That's why I'm not a pro. I have some fear, and I worry about getting injured. In the early days in Morocco, I fell. I called it a bad fall during the race, but now I say it was just a normal fall since I wasn't hurt. I lost focus a bit, underestimated the danger, and down I went. I was going pretty fast, maybe around 100, 110 kilometers per hour, or maybe 90. Anyway, falling on rocks at that speed definitely hurts. It's cheap.
Economico.
Not really. Today was a 520-kilometer stage. It was tough because we arrived at night. I can't count how many times I had to be patient. Waking up at 3 a.m., dealing with unexpected issues, it's all normal in an adventure like this. If the food isn't good at night, at least there's food. The water isn't cold, but at least there's water. The rider's goal in this race is to reach Dakar. So everything else is secondary. One night during the race, I pitched my tent a bit far off, strategically away from the noise of gasoline generators and mechanics working. At 2 a.m., someone turned on a loud generator just 10 meters from my tent. It ran until 2 a.m. And then luckily, it shut off by itself. Otherwise, I would have done it. I laughed it off. I even made an Instagram story calling it my lullaby. This is all part of the adventure. Often, when someone goes on vacation and nothing happens, they just have fun and don't remember much. But when things go wrong, those mishaps become stories to tell. We finally reached Dakar. It's day 5 of the rally, and the race is 12 days in total. We're happy to be halfway, but now the hard part begins, right? Yeah, now the really tough part starts, with lots of sand. We hope it won't be too tough, but I think it will be. We'll make it through. Awesome, let's go. A rally is like a condensed version of life. In real life, we're distracted by 100 things, and it's hard to stay focused. But in a rally or any long competition, your goal is to finish. So you focus entirely on that, getting to Dakar. It seemed a bit steep. There comes a point where you ride fast, not because you're good, but because you realize that going fast is less tiring. You get into such a deep focus that even your pace is driven by extreme fatigue. You know there are small bumps that, if taken at speed, you can jump over, making it less tiring. You do all of this to minimize effort, but you still have to stay completely focused, concentrated completely on what it is that you're doing. You can't have a mind wandering all over the place. The moment your mind wanders, a big rock can shake you back to full concentration. We finally reached Mauritania, stage 8 today. Mauritania is feared because it's like another rally altogether. There's a saying, Morocco breaks the bikes, Mauritania breaks the riders. Here, the damage starts to show. Luckily, I'm fine and haven't had more issues. Now, I'm setting up my tent to rest because there are 4 more days to Dakar.
They tell me, try to cry. I tell,
I was invited to participate in the competition as a father. My son Carlo is about 2 years old, 2 years, 3 months. Leaving him at home, I didn't think it would be, but it was one of the hardest things I faced. I thought, I'll spend 2 weeks alone, focusing on the race. But it wasn't like that. Saying goodbye to Carlo was tough. In these races, you know what you're leaving behind, but you don't know what's ahead. When you say goodbye to your child, when you're with your son, all the fears come into your head. And it's not easy.
When they love you too much, now it's fame, fake, or even hate. Don't be scared when the weight paralyzes your state at the gate. It's a lot to take in, it's designed to know it, don't wait. Don't be scared when the weight paralyzes your state at the gate.
My son Carlo is now 2, and maybe one day he'll watch this documentary and think, my dad was such a fool. What he thinks will depend on how I've spent my time with him. I hope that when I'm gone, he'll watch this and feel moved. This adventure has shown me how wonderful it is to have a child. Missing him for 15 days while doing something that I love made me feel like a better father. When I got back home with Domitila's support, which wasn't a given, I did what I wanted, exactly what I wanted. And I didn't see my son as an obstacle. I missed him a lot, but I didn't want to give up at the first difficulty. I wanted to teach him that you don't quit. I paid for the race, trained hard, and couldn't turn back at the first problem. I found the energy to see it through. Without killing myself, though.
Don't be scared when the weight paralyzes your state at the gate. Don't get in
It's hard to explain why someone would take on such extreme adventures. For some, a switch flips, and they have to do it. For others, it doesn't. At the rally, I met people doing the Marathon des Sables, one of the craziest races in the world. I saw them start and then return. And believe me, there are things more extreme than what I did. Climbing a mountain is more extreme, but it has the same essence as a rally. Finishing the race is like reaching the mountain summit. When you're up there, you've achieved your goal, and all the suffering pays off. Even if it takes 12 days to get there, and 5 to 6 months of preparation. Everything you go through makes the adventure more special.